Welcome to the Broker Collective. Amir, thank you for joining us. This is episode 104. Amir, I've known you for well over a decade. You were a friend before you became a broker. But in your own words, describe who you are.
Um, that's a loaded question. In my own words, I would say, first of all, um, a husband and a father of three, father of three, not a
Amazing.
husband of three, a father of three. Um, and I think that's the biggest part of me, more than being a broker or an athlete, which I was not anymore, or playing games and whatnot. Like I just absolutely loved playing cricket and all that. Um, and again, you guys know me as a broker, but I think before that, I think a husband and a father of three.
Right. Fair enough. No, so of course that's the family comes before anything. And, what I want to know is what was your path? Essentially, this is what I was trying to find out to where you are today.
I think where I came from to start with, the company I was with before, I think they played a major role in developing some of the marketing skills, which I had. I think they helped me a lot. So the path I had was basically when I first joined you. So the idea was that just follow the plan which we discussed, such as make sure that we're gonna call X amount of realtors every day. So my goal, I changed it a little bit. I was like, instead of calling, my goal is gonna be that I'm gonna meet three every day. So in order to meet that goal, if I had to call 50 realtors a day, I did.
Right.
So, I remember those days. I had those big old books where I would, handwrite names and phone numbers based on what they said. I will either cross their names, like this is not where I fit, not with these people. I need to move on to the next one. But I think I called hundreds of realtors every week.
Where did you actually go and meet them?
Where did I meet them?
Meet them? Was that open houses? Was
And
that their office?
no, I always met them at a coffee. You know, Again, another good skill which I learned at Enterprise is that you go to a neutral ground. You don't bring them to yours. You don't go to theirs. You go to a neutral ground. You sit on the same side of the table that you're part of the same team. So those are the things which I actually applied in real life, that I met with them and I built those relationships so good, so quick, that the business started flowing in.
And what did that initial conversation look like when you
So
got
initial
together with them?
conversation, whenever I went to meet someone, I always would want to know about them, who they are. And it could be anybody, honestly. Like people have their bios on there, online somewhere. Especially our realtors who are our referral partners, they would have a lot of stuff posted on REW or Realtor.ca. Which games they play, what do they do and stuff like that. And honestly, like most of the time, I found that those people who I built really great relationships with, we always had something in common. So I think before, and I would suggest this to the new brokers as well, that before you guys go to meet someone, try to know a little bit about them, who they are. I think that would
Right.
help a lot.
So, one thing as I'm listening to you, number one, you're thankful for the company you were working for. And I specifically want to ask you one question there because you said they help you with marketing. How did they help you with marketing? Or did you help yourself and you're just thankful that you were there and therefore,
So
like how did they really help you with marketing? Because, you're in a car, think about it. You're in, it's a car rental company and it's a multinational company. You're working there, you built the branches, I know, and you employed a lot of people, you moved up in roles, you've increased the fleet. But is there some support that they had towards it? Like, I'm curious.
I think there was always a little bit of me being a people's person. But more than that, there are things, structures in place there were in corporate world, such as, I'll give you a little example. I would say maybe taught or I learned this, that I went to see a corporate business partner, and he was going on a skiing trip, and then after coming back, it was his son's wedding. So I came back and put these notes in my file that I met this person and this is what he was doing and all that stuff. Now, 4 months after when I met him, before I left for the meeting, I saw the notes. So first thing when I went back there, I was like, "Hey, how's the skiing trip?" So he's like he didn't tell me that. He was a little bit in shock that I still remember that, but I could feel that he really liked it or loved it. In fact, that me just as another business partner remembered something he told me 4 months ago. Skills like that, and then also self accountability. You know, that those things like that. Those are were the major things which maybe they were in me already. I don't know, but they definitely helped me sharpen those up a bit, which
So,
has helped me in this business.
so essentially, there was the opportunity because of the work environment,
Yeah.
and you then just went above and beyond. As I'm listening to you, based on your story, and you just delivered on those things, right? Because most people wouldn't probably remember those things if they are not, you know, how should I say it? If they're not really considering that role very seriously. For them, it might be, because for a lot of people, they show up, they're looking at the clock, they want to get out by 4 or 5 p.m., so they won't remember those things, right? So, but now when you started, there was something else which stood out to me. When you started to where you are now, what did your day look like back then, and what does it look like now?
So back then when I started, there's a little bit of what I started with. I still do that every day. So when I started, as I said earlier, my goal was that I'm going to meet 3 referral partners, new people every day. I don't meet 3 people every day, but I still call people every day, even though my day is busy. Let's say if I'm driving by, like I did today, I was driving by in Surrey, I saw someone's a realtor's for sale sign. I just gave him a call, just like, "Hey, how's it going?" So we decided we're gonna meet next week, for a coffee, right? So I still do that. I'm not sure if this is just in me. Like I would like to do better than what I did last year. So that's why I do that. So things which I do, which
You're
I did
your own
before.
competitor,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm my own competitor. So when I started, yes, I met 3 people every day. I was underwriting my own deals. I was calling, following up for documents and stuff like that. But now it has changed a little bit because I have help. I've got support, where, I'm in office, the office people kind of take care of most of the stuff, where, documentation's involved and all that. My role pretty much is that I'm still sourcing new business and kind of like meeting my existing clients or talking to my existing clients, answering their questions, staying basically in touch with them. My goal always is that, people who I have met once, if those people or their family ever think of needing money, they think of Aamir instead of a bank.
Right.
So I have a question for you regarding the referral partners, because getting new referral partners, you seem to have it down. How do you maintain the relationships you've already created? Over the years, that's quite the database of referral partners. And I think that that's one of the struggles that some brokers might have is they can go out, they can have that great introduction. They might do a few deals. But how do you maintain that partner year after year with an ever-growing database of partners?
I think staying in touch with them to start with. You never overpromise. You're not going to be like, a lot of people I've seen and I've heard from new brokers is that they get a deal from a new realtor, and right off the bat, you can tell this is not going to happen. But these guys are like, "Oh, I'm going to try." So you're giving them hope because those realtors probably already know this is not going to happen. They're just trying you out. So when you give them false hope and you waste their time, it's not gonna go good. So I'm always, honest. It's gonna work or not. I would tell them up front. If there are chances, where I'm gonna give my 100% to make it work, right? I think honesty is the best policy. Number one. Number two, staying in touch with them. Those are the two most important things which I would say I have. But honestly, the relationships sometimes they don't last forever. Like I have had referral partners where their family members became mortgage brokers, but we didn't end our relationship in a wrong note. We still are like friends. Sometimes like I got a call from a referral partner the other day who was one of my first referral partners when I started in 2019.
Wow.
And he's like, Aamir, I made a mistake. I was sending business to one of my family member, and he went down and I went down with him, and I want to start again. So we need to sit down and do some business.
That's great advice, because everybody talks about doing the 10 at 10, which again, it's incredible advice.
Yeah.
But maintaining those existing partners
Is the most important.
it's the most important. It's like farming your own database of business.
Correct.
The business is
Yeah,
there.
yeah, that's right. So I would say 100% it's most important that whatever the database you have, you take care of that first before you go out and start sourcing more.
Whether it be clients, referral partners, whatever it is.
Correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's right.
So, I have another question actually. I want to go back to the earlier years, as you mentioned that you were trying to call 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 realtors each and every day, trying to set up those 3 meetings. For a lot of brokers and a lot of salespeople, they have fear of rejection. How did you overcome that piece?
So when I'm always about learning. When I'm sitting with a group of people, 2, 3, 4, 5 people, when people are talking, I'm always listening, and I will pick the best out of what someone's telling or saying to other, and I will apply that if it makes sense to me. So I think it was the second or the third call of my career I made to a realtor. And he's like, Aamir, I'm really busy. I get calls from brokers every day. I don't meet brokers. I don't have time for this, but I'm going to give you an advice. I was like, please. He's like, Aamir, don't give up. Keep going at it. Keep digging. You don't know how close you are to your goal. And a lot of people give up and they turn back. So you don't give up. And that clicked. And that day I decided and thought that I am not going to quit. No matter what happens, I'll keep going at it. I think that's one of the main thing. And the other thing is, Asim, you already know that, when I registered for the UBC course, I left my other job. Burned the boats behind you. There's no going back.
Cold
Yeah.
turkey.
Yeah, this is it. This is gone. So do or die situation. So then automatically, when you know that there's no going back, this is it.
Yeah, you build
You-
that level of pressure on you.
That's it.
That there's no going back. This is it. Just like what you're saying, right? We talk about creating that pressure, and so for you, it was already by design. It was there.
Yeah.
But you still. I mean, not to take it away from you, because you're one of the top brokers in the country. Now, I have a question to ask you, because of course, besides our friendship, you still chose to be. We collectively worked up until now. And how do you find the support which AIMI has given over the years as to you? I know you probably don't require as much support, but we still talk. Do you feel like there is, things which are being done on a day in, day out basis where we're helping you facilitate or do more business, whether that be advice, so it could be anything,
Absolutely. There's always learning, as I said before. And I never say that, I'm at a point where I don't need support. There are days when I've called you, we have discussed deals. There are days when I've called other brokers in the brokerage and we've discussed deals. And I always have picked up, something or learned something from it. I think there's a really good support system. It's like a family. Everybody's pushing each other to be successful.
Yeah, we're
which
like a
is
bank, but still, like
exactly,
the bank which the shareholders are all the family, the brokers are the shareholders.
Yeah, it doesn't
exactly.
matter if you're doing one deal a year
Yeah,
or the
you
volume that
do
you do.
100 a year or you do 200 a year. I think that that support system, from each other, is the best.
Community.
And community, that's right. And I think that builds that amazing relationship that whenever we get together, we get to see each other. It's like that, family, like, you're seeing each other after so long or whatever, or whenever you see each other. I think that's the reason why. And of course, I've got, like a brotherly relationship with Asim. That's another thing. But definitely he's a mentor. He's my mentor. He has helped me being successful. And I was mentioning it earlier. I was like, yeah, in my first year, I only did 32 million and he did 34. But I was like, his 34 is equal to 68 because there was nobody there to teach him. But he was there to teach me when I first started. So, there that definitely goes long ways.
That's incredibly valuable, though, having the community within the brokerage. I see people all the time talking about how they're looking for the lowest desk fees. They're looking for maybe a better compliance checklist. Like we have a compliance checklist, but basically a better protocol within their brokerage. I think we have it all. Like
We have-
it's the community.
Yeah.
We have great compliance. Everybody knows what's going on. I've never heard once a broker say, "I would love to give you that advice. Let's co-broker it." No,
Yeah.
we're there to teach each
Yeah.
other and work on it, and that's. I think we're.
I'll add to that. We just had a call come into the office earlier in the day, and it was a broker who's like a $20 million producer, and of course, not to name any other brokerages, we're not here for that, but he said that, every time he needs support, there's a 48-hour, he has to,
You have to wait.
he has to wait 48 hours. And I'm thinking, wow, and I'm like, what are you, like, because, when the operation tells me, of course, I'm like, it was just mind boggling to me to think that, people wait out there for 48 hours to get, answers for their questions where they can structure deals. And what about the clients? No wonder they're losing business.
those
No
guys are waiting
wonder
out.
they're frustrated. No wonder they're looking for another home, right? So those are the things I think you can probably attest to that. That's never been
100%.
the case, right? Like we're structured like a bank, but more like a community. At
Correct.
the end of the day,
I think more like a
literally-
family.
More like a family, yeah.
And honestly, the group we have, where we share, whatever news we have or people ask questions. Like sometimes I'm surprised, like, a question comes in and there's an answer within like seconds after that. Like we're all like, let's figure out a way to help this person out. Right? That's how every broker is around here, which is a fantastic thing.
Well,
And I would say
case
more.
in point today,
Yeah.
right? We're talking about construction loans.
That's right.
I have no clue how to do a construction loan.
Right.
I would love to learn. What did you say? Let's talk about
Let's
it.
talk about it.
Right.
Let's get
it
it done.
wasn't. Hey, you should go look into
Yeah.
that. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Yeah, no, fair enough, Aamir. So, Aamir, now, of course, you're one of the top, one of the top 50 brokers in DLC Canada. Where are we going from here?
Number one.
Yes, of course, the goal is to be number one. Yeah, definitely the goal is to be, honestly, we were talking about earlier, the goal's going to be better than last year. A lot of time, people, when I remember it was in 2024, I was talking to some other brokers at other brokerages and realtors, and, everybody's like, oh, it's just the market is slow. But I didn't take that the market is slow. That means you have to put more work in. Because I always compared my, myself with my best year. So like, my best year was 2022, right? So every year I'm like, I'm going to be better than that, right? So I'm not like, okay, in 2024, I did 100 million. In 2025, I did 110. Great. I'm like, nah, in 2022, I did 130. So I need to be better than that, right? So that's how I am. It just, again, as Asim said earlier, just your own competitor.
I remember years ago, Asim, I'd gone to him and asked, how do I get in the top 50? And he said, well, if you really want to know, I'll show you. And of course I wanted to know. And both Ramin Halaji and myself, we both got in the top 50 for gross revenue for 1 month out of the year. But we did it.
You did it.
We put in the tough hours and we got it done.
Yeah.
And I think it was about $12 million or so in funded volume that month alone.
Fantastic.
Which was, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice accomplishment.
100%.
But I had to put in the effort.
Yeah. And we do that every month, every day, just to stay up there.
Right.
You know.
So if I'm a new broker, Aamir, and I'm listening to this podcast and I'm starting tomorrow, if you were that new broker, where would you start from tomorrow morning?
I would start by letting my friends and family and their friends know, what do I do? I have a new broker who just started in the team the other day, and we were discussing what we could do. So I was like, you live in a townhouse complex. There are 90 townhouses. Those townhouses were built in 2021. They all are coming up for renewal because they all bought in 2021, August. Go knock everybody's door. Tell them who you are. I'm your neighbor. I'm your broker. Funny enough, he has picked up a couple of deals from that. It's his first week.
Amazing.
So I would say when I'm starting, I'll start from the people I know, my friends, my family. I'll let them know what I do, right? And then I started my community, in my block. You know, I let people know, of course, you know, at the same time calling realtors, the referral partners, you know, let them know, but this is how my first day would be, that I'll let everybody know around me, what do I do now?
No, that's really great advice, and thank you so much for sharing that. Now, looking back, all those coffee meetings, everything you've accomplished throughout your career, I know I'm proud of certain things about myself now. I can definitely say, what are you most proud of?
I think I'm proud of having a great family, I guess. I think the best thing about, you know, the choice I made by coming and becoming a broker was, I'm so proud of that I can give a lot more time to my family as compared to when I was working for a company before. I left at like 6:30 a.m. and I was home at like 8:30 p.m. So when I left in the morning, the kid was sleeping. When I got home, the kid was sleeping. So we laughing one day with me and my wife, and I was like, you know, I don't want my daughter to one day be like, Mom, who's that uncle who comes here every Saturday and Sunday, you know? So I think I'm really proud of that decision I made. You know, I was at my old office and I was sitting with Asim, and that day he was like, you should register for the mortgage brokerage course. And that day I quit my job and registered for the mortgage brokerage course. I think that would be the best, and I'm proud of that. And then of course things took from there, but that is how it all started, where it all started.
No, that's fair. And if you think about the next 3 to 5 years, where do you see yourself business-wise, or do you think you'll retire by then?
I don't think that I will retire by then. Honestly, even if I'll retire, I would need something to do. I'll need to get out and do something, find something to do. I think the goal is to, of course, you know, now as we discussed, you know, start building the team. We've started building our team now. The goal is to keep building that and also keep doing my brokering. You know, I just being better than yesterday every day. You know, do something better, learn something new. I think that's what my goal is. And of course, you know, I just like, you know, most of the brokers out there, you know, I do want to be the best broker in Canada.
Amazing.
You know, the top, you know, if you're not first, you're last, you know. So that's what the goal is. But I'm working towards it. I'm working towards it every day.
Right. And is there anything new you're planning on working in the coming days? Like, I know you started doing a lot of commercial business now.
Yeah.
Like, strategically, you said you're expanding your team. So that would be one thing. Is there any other things you would say that you were planning on doing this year?
Yes, I think one thing which I learned today, and as I was saying earlier, that I learn every day. One thing I learned today was following up with my past clients. Those leads which were dead a year ago or 2 years ago, following up with them. And the best part I learned today was just when you send a text, just don't be like, hey, just following up, XYZ, how's it going? Never say that. So that's what I'm going to work on short term, that I'm going to start following up with all of my those clients who didn't go for a mortgage or didn't buy a house or nothing really happened with them. I'm going to be following up with those people and make sure to stick to that.
I think that's amazing advice. Just this past week, same sort of advice, following up, but following up, not assuming that they are in the same situation as when you got them that mortgage to begin with. Maybe they were in a great situation. Maybe they're separated now.
Right.
Maybe they lost their job. It's incredible when you actually start going through your database,
right?
Not just looking at when the renewals are coming up, but thinking maybe something might be going on in their life.
Yeah.
Just a quick hi, hello.
Right.
Maybe you can assist them in some way, and of course that works out to your benefit as well.
Correct. I mean, in January we of course I was following up with the previous clients. Those clients, I'm talking about the clients where we didn't go anywhere with it. Like we got them pre-approved and nothing really happened after that. So we did follow up with them, and we got 4 accepted offers in January out of those people.
Wow.
And sent them back to the realtors who referred them to me about a year ago. And everybody is like, Aamir, we owe you one. Like people forgot about those clients, right? I mean, most of the clients, they didn't even remember their realtor, right? But sent them back to the same realtor, and they're like, Aamir, that's fantastic. So I think myself, as I learned today, I just gotta be better at following up. The way we follow up, that has to change, because I was texting like that. Hey, just following up. That's the worst thing. Hey, just following up.
Right.
No, just gotta have a normal conversation.
You the following up words gotta go out of your vocabulary.
Yeah.
It just
and
doesn't.
You're not a car salesman.
Right.
So just like a normal random conversation, it'll automatically lead to somewhere.
So Aamir, where can people find you, send you business, or connect with you?
They can reach me at my cell phone, 778-241-2482. That's my cell. You can reach out to me at any time. It doesn't have to be a mortgage. If any questions, anything I can, be helpful with, I would love to help.
Right.
If it's a question about anything, about a career in mortgages, in a mortgage brokerage, anything I can help with, I'm always here to help.
Right. Aamir, I'm just going to do a few rapid fire questions in the end. We've already, So, Aamir, one thing you would tell your younger self. Is there a thing?
Don't waste money.
Yeah. Can you elaborate on that?
When I was young, I was, going to university, just a single person, just by myself here. I used to make about $80,000 a year back in 2012, 2013. That was a lot of money. I had no expense.
Yeah, probably over 6 figures with inflation today, for sure.
So, but I wasted all of that, just like in stupid stuff. Bought cars,
You got to experience things.
What's that?
That's important too. You got to experience things, right? Yeah.
But, those were, I guess, expensive experiences, But again, it is what it is. I enjoyed it then,
At least you're honest to yourself. Yeah. That makes sense. And as a broker, biggest rookie mistake to avoid?
I honestly can't think of.
You haven't made any mistakes. That's right.
I make a lot of mistakes. I still make mistakes.
Over-promising.
Yeah, that's right. Over-promising. Yes, don't over-promise your referral partners or anybody, and just be honest.
And how long before success feels real?
First class ticket on a plane. when you get the lie down seat.
He got me into one, I guess, in 2020.
Yeah.
I was traveling and he's like, how are you traveling? I'm like, just economy. He's like, just pay a little bit extra, just go business class. I was like, okay. And after that, I've never looked back and gone in the economy. So I think, yes, the first time you travel in business class, yes.
So, lastly, I want to add to something. If there's one broker who I am proud of, it is you.
Thank you.
The amount of achievement you've learned, of course, just like Kyle, many of the people we started in the industry, I started with them or they started after, but we started together, and, many of them have reached many, many milestones. But you have, of course, surpassed every single person out there. So it is unbelievable what you have done in such a short period of time. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you,
We
guys.
love having you, and we'll see you sometime soon.
Sounds good. Thank you.